Hey everyone. I'll wait for a few of you guys to join. If you're wondering what I'm looking down at, by the way, it's just my own computer, just to make sure that everything is running properly. There it is. Okay. So now I see that it's on you guys' timeline that I'm live. So, hey Amy. Let me see what it looks like. Very cool. It's so creepy, like watching yourself from two screens at like the same time and one lags and stuff. Okay, you guys, so I want to make this like a regular thing, going live when it comes to 90 Day, hey Genesis, Fiancé, especially because I never have the time to do like my full recaps because like I've said in previous videos, it takes like 2-3 hours per recap, so I can't really recap multiple shows. So that's why I was like, let's go live and have some fun with it. So the last time I went live was the first time ever, and so I was like focusing so much on comments and stuff and chatting with you guys, but for people who didn't get to watch it live and had to watch an archive version, like it became a little bit annoying. So I'm gonna let you guys chat with each other and I'll like check in every now and again, but I will give you like a brief rundown and then we'll have like a formal like chat session like towards the end of it. So before we jump in, I didn't know which 90 Day Fiancé you guys wanted to discuss. I mean, they air at the same time, right? So there was the 90 Day Fiancé actual one with like Pau, Mohammed, Danielle, and Fisa and George and stuff like that. And then there was like, this again. Can you hear me? The thing is telling me, okay, that my connection is weak, so I'm kind of like skeeved out. Thank you. So the thing is telling me that my connection's weak, so let me know if you can't see me anymore, and then I'll just like restart and jump back in. So before the 90 days aired after the reunion, and I just have to say really, really quickly that the reunion was a good surprise when it comes to George. Like, I was so impressed by how well he stood up for himself against Anfisa and the way that she had been like going after him and stuff like that. But then to find out that they're actually still together again, I was like, really, George? Like, you finally had your life back and everything. I thought you were about to break free, and then here you are, you know? And I know a lot of you guys and a lot of people in general don't really like Mohammed, but I do have to say that he was pretty on point at the reunion in talking about how a lot of the Americans speak about the people that they bring to the countries as if they're objects who owe them for life because they were like saved from like the bad like non-American countries and stuff like that. And it's especially true of Danielle. She really seems to think that she's entitled to all things Mohammed, you know, like even going as far as saying that her life would be better if he stopped posting on social media. Like, her obsession with him is really, really possessive. And I do think that he had a point when he said that a lot of the Americans, you know, treat them like they're animals or objects or this or that. And so the reunion was really, really interesting from that perspective. And then when it comes to Pau and Russ, never been on live chat. Oh, welcome, Brittany. When it comes to Pau and Russ, what did you guys think about their interaction? Because I was kind of like, I mean, I missed a lot of the season, but Pau and Russ, I didn't really get what was going on. Like, you know, yeah, she wore lingerie and stuff like that, but you kind of knew that was the person that she was, and it's not that huge of a deal. Is it like a storyline thing, or is he seriously that floored over lingerie? But at the same time, I was really happy that he wound up calling her out and being like, listen, you claim that you had to pass up all these jobs because of me, but it's not true because there weren't that many jobs coming at you. And I was like, that was a read. And of course, she walked off. And like Sarah says, I do agree that Russell absolutely needs to chillax when it comes to Pau because especially in seeing the way that she allowed her friends to speak about him in front of him. Remember how she had like that Spanish friend or whatever who made fun of Russ and refused to speak in English and stuff like that and really made him feel uncomfortable and like an outsider at the restaurant. Like, she really allowed that kind of thing to happen, and he deserved a lot more. But now she seemed legit upset Yeah, didn't she throw up twice about the whole like lingerie thing? Like, was that real or was that a storyline? And sidebar, the fact that one of the guys actually like listened in on the bathroom when she was in there was like, okay, dude, like, where's your home training? That's absolutely gross. But do you guys have anything else to say about that first 90-day fiance that appeared before the 90 days? Because I really wanted to jump into that as well. Did you guys have any comments about that first? That was a rapper checking on people in the washroom. Ew. Bianca says, I'm so overpowered and rushed. She needs to find a different career. That's true. And she seems to be really into this personal training thing. I think she was just personal training with one of the other girls, Lauren, the other day as well. And like, of course, her body is amazing and stuff. So I do think she's going to succeed with that. If she leverages all the followers she has on Instagram and stuff like that. There's a huge market for personal trainers these days. And she can actually really succeed if she sticks to it, because modeling doesn't really seem to be for her. And you know what, DJ, I know who you're talking about when you say that someone on 90 Day Fiancé seems creepy. I know you're talking about Paul. Sometimes I feel like Paola loves Russ, but sometimes it seems like she doesn't, is what Brittany says. And I can agree with that, because it seems like she loves him from a I love what you can do for me kind of perspective, where it's like, you know what, you're getting this prize, like this beautiful like woman on your arm, let me do what I want to do. And it's kind of like an arrangement. I think she's like a soft core version of Anfisa a little bit, so I do agree with you on that. And then after the reunion aired, it was before. Oh wait, Elizabeth says, I agree with Brittany, she seems like she loves him, but she loves her dream life more. Shepherd's Girl says no, Danielle's the creepy one. Okay. And Tally Explorer says, as a fellow Oklahoman, I understand Russ being conservative, but as a woman, I also understand Pal. There needs to be balance. Neither are willing. Bianca says, Paul, yeah, is the creepy one. Brandy says, the guy on Before 90 Day creeps me out. The one where he went through the Amazon to get to the girl. And DJ Jackson says, question, is Danielle special needs or nah? Rachel, oh no, I don't watch the show, but I love watching your chats. Thank you. Okay, you guys, not too much went down in the reunion besides George really calling Anfisa out, telling her that he wants to hurt her, like she's hurt him, that he's done with her. But, you know, upon finding out that they did end up getting back together, it's just all hot air at this point. So let's jump into Before the 90 Days. So one of like the most controversial couples on Before the 90 Days is actually Darcy and Jesse. And so Darcy is this woman in her 40s. A lot of people think she's actually lying about her age and that she's actually in her 50s, and Jesse is in his 20s and he's like an Instagram model. And so in this episode we start off by finding out that the two of them knocked boots for the first time, and Darcy seemed really happy about it. Apparently like his body delivered, and Jesse played really coy about it, like he does with all things involving Darcy and their relationship or whatever. And then they go home to meet the family, and on their way there, Darcy just keeps dropping hints about how she wants to be engaged to him so badly, and he just seems to be a little bit repelled by her. It's not that I think that he's not attracted to her or anything like that, but I think like most people, he finds her to be really overwhelming, you know? I think that I can agree with him in the respect that she is a little bit team too much, you know, like she goes way out of her way to wear like so much makeup, and like she just never has appropriate footwear. Didn't she have a pair of lubes caught in an escalator last time? Now this time she's walking through freaking cobblestones with lubes again. It's like she hates her shoes. Like those shoes are so expensive, you gotta take better care of them than that. And so when they get to the family house, Jesse's parents drag her and read her for filth. Like I was embarrassed for her just watching it. Like the dad was like, you know, like Jesse's way out of your league. And unfortunately for Darcy, Jesse does not stick up for her one bit when his dad said that. Like if I had a boyfriend, especially one that I wanted to be engaged to, and his dad read me for filth like that and he didn't defend me, I would be like on the first plane back home. Like, what did you guys feel about, first of all, how rude his dad was, even if it was pretty realistic, because she is like in her 40s and stuff, acting like she's, you know, his age and wanting to have a baby next week and stuff, and he was trying to put her in check, but come on. Bianca says, the stepdad looked like kooky, he messed her up. Someone says that the stepdad was funny. Brittany says it's true. And you guys, yeah, it is true, but it's kind of like that time in Teen Mom when Daniel brought Farrah home and she was like, oh, to his mom, you better hurry up with that baby. You're not a spring chicken. Lena says, if he didn't defend his father, I'm piecing out. It's true. Elizabeth, you gotta watch it. It's so good. And the mom kind of like just sat there and watched everything go by, and she was kind of like a neutral party in all of it. And by the way, did Jesse's mom remind anyone else of Betsy Johnson? Because I got hardcore Betsy Johnson vibes from her. And so as the dad and the mom were really skeptical of the relationship, Darcy kept trying to like prove herself. She was like, I still got it. I still keep myself up. I'm still cute and I still look young. And I was like, you know, you're still cute, yeah. And you do still keep yourself up. You like looking nice, but no, girl, you do not look young. And so I think the two of them end up getting married. How do you guys feel about this couple? Do you see them standing the test of the time? I personally think that Jesse is with Darcy for a reason, but it's not a green card. Joanna, can you repost that? It just faded for me. I think that Jesse is, yeah, Bianca, Darcy does look good for 50. She's shady. I do think that Jesse is with her for a reason, but I don't think it's a green card per se, because he does come from a really good country as well. I mean, the healthcare in Netherlands, I'm pretty sure, is better than American healthcare, and you know, their GDP is pretty high as well. If I, you know, just based off of assuming. I think that he might be in this for the notoriety and the fame and stuff like that, but it's so tricky to say with these couples. I don't know that I see it lasting that long. And Lena says he's in it for the publicity from 90 Day Fiancé. Ashley says, I only watch 90 Day Fiancé because thank you, I need to post more. Shepherd's Girl says, I just want to see what happens to Azan and Nicole. I agree. I wish they were in this season of 90 Day Fiancé because they were my favorite. Jesse just wants to be on TV and further his modeling career. Jesse does not care about the green card. That's also true. And probably to boost his Instagram followers, which I can also agree with. So it seems like none of us really seem to think that he's in it for a green card, but more that he's in it for the fame and notoriety. And so the next couple on Before the 90 Days is Paul and Karine, which I have to say is the couple that skeeves me out the most, like even more so than the Haitian girl and the older man. So Paul gets over to Brazil to meet Karine at her family home, and Karine's dad needs to be a series regular because he is absolutely hilarious. Like, Paul gets into the house and he literally does not speak a lick of Portuguese, and so he's just like awkwardly smiling there like like the whole time, and like speaking to, like, not speaking to them, but just like nodding and stuff like that. Hey, Flavia. And so the dad's like, so you don't speak a word of Portuguese? Like, this is the mute. No one's gonna know what the mute wants. And he was just like, seriously, he was so disappointed in the whole having a son-in-law who never really bothered to learn the language. But at the same time, it doesn't seem like they bother to learn English either, which, sorry not sorry, is a universal language that I think most people, regardless of countries, you know, should try to speak. Can I please go live every day? I wish. And so Paul did not like being at Karine's house. I guess it's because it was really small, and I agree with Joanna. He should have learned the language at least a little bit. Come on, like, out of respect. And so I think he didn't want to stay at the family home because it was small. The parents would have been right next door if they were cuddling or whatever. And so he and Karine can't really communicate outside of this text messaging app or Google Translate or whatever. And so he messages her. He's like, can we go to a hotel, girl? And so she's like, you'll have to ask my dad first. And so Paul goes and uses his Translate app, and he's like, you know, speaking in Portuguese, like really roughly, can I take her to a hotel or whatever? And so the dad is like, you know, just for your information, typically when someone wants to take someone to a hotel, it means they're trying to hit it and quit it. But if you promise to not be a dirty dog and all that, then I guess I'm gonna have to say yes. And so he allows them to go off to the hotel and stuff like that. But you can just tell the dad is absolutely not here for Paul one bit. And this relationship is the weirdest to me because they don't even like understand each other at all. Like, how do you have like romantic feelings or like vibes or anything like that for someone? Yeah, Lena says it's a lack of communication is the number one downfall of every relationship. What do we think the reason why he hasn't been I love a good train wreck. I laugh so hard. And thank you, Laura, for loving my videos as well. So like it's just so weird that these two can even have a relationship when they don't understand each other one bit. And like things like Google Translate are not even accurate that well. So a lot of things are going to be getting lost in translation and stuff like that. By the way, you guys, what does Paul do for work? He looks to me like someone who works in software or IT or something like that, something to do with computers, but I never really caught what he did. I'm really curious about that. I do know that in his spare time, he's an arsonist though, with all of those arrests. And so the two of them get to a hotel, and this is where things get like so creepy. Like, I mean, we saw Corinne's bedroom back home, how childish it was. Like she had all these stickers on her wall, all these like toys, and apparently she loves stuffed animals and stuff, and she told Paul. And so he gets her to wait in the hallway or something like that. Someone says, I feel like they're two desperate people. And someone else says that he still lives with his mom. So he tells her, wait in the hallway. I'm preparing a romantic surprise for you. And so she's just like awkwardly waiting in the hallway. And he opens the door to the hotel bedroom and thanks Amanda for watching. And he's got a bed, and it's a twin bed. I don't know how two grown-ass people fit in a twin bed, but it's a twin bed filled from like the top of the headboard to like halfway down the thing with stuffed animals. And then he also got her cereal boxes or whatever, and just all these things where I was like, whoa. Like, I wouldn't consider him a pedophile, but you know that other thing, P-A-E, pedophile, I don't know how you pronounce that, but like someone who is okay as a grown person with being into some, you know, like the whole thing was just really, really creepy to me. Like, how could you want to buy another grown-ass person stuffed animals in cereal boxes? I would feel like a creep if I were doing that. Like, the whole thing was just so crazy. He couldn't even take a shower, and those shoes on the bed, yes, under the mosquito net, someone said. I think throughout this whole season of 90 Day Fiancé, before the 90 days, Paul still has yet to take a damn shower. And when they climbed into the bed at the end of the night, he first of all brought like his net thing, the mosquito net. I think he's afraid of malaria or something like that. And he climbed into the bed as this like, you know, great holy person from the West who's too good for Brazil. And he has the dirtiest socks on, like dirty feet, Paul. Like, I just about vomited. It was so gross to look at. I was like, okay, your socks are white on top but black on bottom. At least take them off and wash your feet or something before you climb into bed. And so, what's her name again? Corinne wants to kiss Paul and like get things rolling. I think she wanted to actually sleep with him that night. And so Paul was like, no, slow your roll, because I want you to take an STD panel test, which he, I think, brought. And he also wanted her to take a pregnancy test as well. And so like her face in the preview of the whole thing was kind of like, really, dude? Really? Like, what the heck? Elizabeth's like, that's going to be his new name, Dirty Feet Paul. That couple, to me, there's something so weird. I find Paul talks to Corinne like she's a 2-year-old, because it's kind of the way I talk to my 2-year-old nephew. Like, all like, oh, like, you know, I don't want to say his name or whatever, but like, you know, oh, blah, 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 like, okay, cutie, like, let's do this. You have like this high-pitched voice and stuff like that. That's how he talks to her. Or he also sometimes talks to her like she's kind of some kind of like a pet dog or something like that. It's just, the relationship is so bizarre. I just don't get it in the slightest bit. But I do know that the two of them are together to this day. And actually at this point, I don't know whether or not they can understand each other these days, but I do know that they're already trying to have kids together as well. And that Corinne thinks that Westerners, particularly Americans, are super mean and judgmental, and it's really affected their relationship. So, po dat. Someone said, I haven't had stuffed animals or any kind of toy since Slappy and Chuckle. They're odd, and he's a control freak. Yeah, it's just such a weird pairing. I'm uncomfortable watching these two in action. The whole thing is just, there's no chemistry whatsoever. And like, her parents are, you know, the dad seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders and stuff like that. Exactly. Mama Bear's like, what language will they teach their kids? It's like, I don't know. The kids are going to be their new translator. When that app thing has to die down, the kids are going to be their new app. And it's just, I don't get it. And so for that couple, I see them lasting, you know, it's kind of like Curlium and that other guy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but they never seemed to have that much chemistry to me. It seemed like the guy was just fixated with like this beautiful Brazilian girl and nothing else mattered. And he was like rushing her down the aisle just to like sleep with her, knock her up, and trap her. And he wouldn't let her have the modeling gig. You know, not that that's something that Corinne's gonna have, but like I just get similar vibes from them. And so, what's the next couple, y'all? Oh, Elizabeth says, my husband got me a stuffed animal for each of my kids. And yeah, someone else says Curlium is like a little kid. She did have a really kitty vibe as well. And someone else says, how is his mother going to handle this? Paul's mother? That's a good question. We haven't seen his family quite yet that I can recall. I've skipped a few episodes, but I'm curious as to what they think about all of this, especially if it's, as someone said, if he is in fact living at home. Like, okay. And so the next couple that we had was Patrick and Miriam. Patrick is this DJ guy who claims to be this international sensation. By the way, you guys, he is addicted to being on reality television shows. Oh yeah, Bianca's like, we saw the other guy's mom's lock of hair before he went off to Brazil to see Corinne. That's true. So Patrick is this DJ who claims to be super successful, but I think he spends most of his time auditioning for reality television shows because I think he's been on at least 10 different ones already. And so one thing that really irritated me about Patrick's storyline was that he was like, oh, like, I've got this baby with this woman and like, you know, I'm a great father, which is good. You know, I'm a great father and everything like that. And so, Laura, that's so cute, but that's okay. Thank you so much though. Sorry, I lost my track of thought. So Patrick was like, okay, like I'm this DJ, I love my kid and all that. And so, you know, that was good and everything. And so he's like, I've always like slept around and stuff like that. Like that's just been my thing. But now that I want to settle down, I want to find a non-Western woman because they've got values. When I heard that, I was like, what? Like, what? The whole statement was just so stupid, right, guys? Like his whole statement was so crazy. Like, what? It's just, I don't think, like, his line of thinking was just so basic, bitch, first of all, and second of all, I'm at a loss for words. You know, sometimes people say things that are so stupid that you're like, what can I even say about this? Because it is just so stupid. But anyway, he's like, okay, I met this girl in France. Her name is Miriam, and she's super conservative. She's a Muslim, and I want to be with her. And so, you know, because she's got these values that Western women don't have. And it's like, I mean, if all the women that you were sleeping with don't have it, then you don't have it. And so what makes you better than them? And why do you, like, the whole thing just doesn't make any sense. But he wants to go over to Paris to see Miriam, to see Miriam. And then he's got this baby mama. Her name is Cameo or something like that, which is kind of interesting. And she seems to want him back, but he wants Miriam. And the interesting thing about Miriam is that she doesn't seem too keen on letting her parents know that she's been having this internet relationship with a Black American man, and that doesn't seem to deter him too much. So I think that in addition to Courtney is going to be the best. Oh my god, you guys, someone just called me in the middle of that. Are you still good? Sorry, someone just called me. I feel so bad. Christ. Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I've been getting phone calls. And so Patrick's not really, you know, seeming to be ready to accept the fact that it's probably not really gonna work out with Miriam, you know, because she doesn't seem too keen on letting her parents know about him and all of that. And so it's like, okay, good luck to you, boo. You've got like this perfectly good girl over here ready to be with you and your child, and you can be a good family and stuff like that. But at the same time, you don't want that. And instead, sorry guys, I gotta block this Adolf Hitler motherfucker. Report, remove. I'll probably just block. You are so fun. Go swim in Houston. Okay. View deleted message. No. You guys, people are so crazy, but that's okay. So anyway, I don't know that I really see this relationship working out like at all, but I am looking forward to it and Courtney's relationship as well, because Courtney's the girl who's with this Spanish catfish and she's getting ready to go and visit him. And I feel like TLC has really, thank you guys, by the way, that was so crazy. Some people are really irritating, but it is what it is. So Courtney is the next storyline and she's the last one of the episode. And I find her to be really interesting. It's like, does she do other reality shows? Because I don't believe that she is this dumb. You know, like she's got this guy she's never met. I think he even refuses to get on the phone with her or to like video chat her on Skype or anything like that. And she's like, you know what? This seems like a good time to visit him in Spain. Like, yeah, I could lose my head, I could lose an eyeball, I could lose like my hands, but this seems like a good time to go and visit him. His name is allegedly Antonio. And so Carlos is like, he's a total catfish, always dodging her. She's got to be a skis, who want to date her. She's cute. Exactly. Like, she's cute. What's she doing? We should see if she's been on Catfish before. Someone else is like, I'm not watching 90 Day, but I love the videos. Thank you so much. And by the way, yes, Teen Mom New Jersey is real. It's an official announcement. And so Courtney, like, she's got these parents who are so cute, by the way, you guys. Like, her parents are absolutely adorable. And they're like, okay, girl, like, you've been catfished before, and here you are kind of walking into the whole thing again, but all right, like, we're gonna support you. We're gonna drive you to the airport. Love you. And I'm like dying to see what happens when she gets over there, because it seems like TLC is banking on this being like the master, like, story of the season, that they keep dragging him out and we still haven't seen him, even though we've seen everyone else arrive in their other people's countries. One thing that's really concerning Courtney about Antonio is the fact that she thinks he might be dabbling in, like, you know, porn a little bit with his modeling. Like, he's done some stuff that she's kind of like, okay, dude, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Someone's like, her mother towers over her father, it's cute. And Mama Bear's like, goodness, why are people so desperate? Yeah, the whole thing is just so crazy. Like, I'm really curious to see what's gonna go down over there, because, all right, good luck to you, Courtney. Like, you've been catfished before, but here you are again, and it seems like she's kind of just in it for a storyline. But is this really how you want to be remembered? Joanna's like, I love when she was in the car with her mom, and her mom's like, I hope he's not a gigolo. Yeah, that was a really funny scene for sure. You guys, are you feeling before the 90 days more than 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After? Because I sure am. I wish they did a special where we could see where the first season of 90 Day Fiancé are. Courtney's a few marbles short. Never watched the show, but God, it sounds good. You do have to give it a shot. You know what? They haven't done like a special show on where the people from the first couple seasons of 90 Day Fiancé are these days, but on the TLC YouTube channel, they do a couple of follow-up interviews with them as well. And Shannon will talk about 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days and Happily Ever After as well. So if you go to the TLC channel, you'll be able to see, you know, little mini clips on updates on what's going on. Girl with the long dark hair. I also like the shirt, girl with the long dark hair. Yeah. And you guys, is it true that Darcy still lives with her sister? Like I said, I've missed a couple of episodes of this. I know that when Darcy was doing her very own reality show for a little bit, it featured her and her sister. They were both married and they had the kids and stuff like that. And so, are they really still living in that kind of arrangement with a sister and everything like that? I wanted to talk about Abby and Sean, but they weren't really in this episode. And thank you, Jessica, for liking the videos. They weren't really in this episode. One thing I'll say is that I'm a part of like this like Reddit thingy on like Sean, the show, and I find that Sean and Abby try too hard and like are too focused on what viewers say, and I think that's gonna kill their relationship and their own like personal souls. Like, when you're on television and stuff like that, the last thing you should be doing is going online and arguing with people who don't like you. Bianca's asking what Darcy does that she can afford to take so much time off. And I want to also ask, what does Darcy do that she can afford gigantic Chanel bags? Like a little Chanel bag. Guys, just to get a Chanel wallet on a chain and call it a little like chain link purse costs you $1,000. And Darcy's got like massive Chanel bags and she's got lots of lubes. So I do wonder what she's doing. Do y'all think she's selling ass on the side? Ashley's like, do you think airport security saw all of Sean's panties insecure? Ah. You know what? They were probably giving him a little bit of a side eye. Maybe if he was unlucky enough that they had asked him to, you know, sometimes you get randomly selected for them to pop open your like little luggage or whatever. Imagine he opened that. They'd be like, all right, dude, move right along. I don't even want to talk to your weird ass. You guys, does anyone know what Darcy does for work? Because she seems to have a lot of coinage for, you know, all of her things. Or maybe she mismanages her money. You guys, I know some people where you would think they had a lot of money based off the things they were flaunting, but they just mismanaged their effing money really badly. We got to tear down Western women like we're cast of Girls Gone Wild. Isn't Abby still in love with Chris? And someone's creepy. Yeah, Abby seems to still be in love with Chris. Remember that interview where she still thought at the time that her thingy was to be with Chris, and so she's like, I'm excited to see Chris. Producers are like, no, you're gonna see Sean. And she starts like, shit. Yeah, that relationship's pretty interesting. But I have to say, she is absolutely beautiful. Her, Curlium, like gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girls, and they're interesting to watch, that's for sure. You guys, anything else that you want to add about the show? And to Laura earlier, I couldn't mention you. Laura had asked me if people could send me packages or whatever, and I was like, that is so cute and so sweet and so kind, but I would feel so bad, so don't even worry about it. But thank you so much for the thought. I think that's so sweet of you. Bianca's like, she loves Chris and Sean's money. I don't think she genuinely likes them. You guys, Sean, like, is kind of a cute silver fox, y'all. Like, yeah, he's a little bit older, but he's kind of fine. Like, I don't, like, and I don't, you know what I mean? Like, he's not, like, being with, let's say, what's the name? Kazia's guy. Remember Kazia's guy? I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's not like Abby's with Kazia's guy. What's his name, you guys? Like, you know, she's kind of lucking out when it comes to the silver fox draw, I would say. He's literally 20 years older. I know, like, it's a bit much. Will you do a live for Teen Mom? Would be great. I will try to. I know that there are a few topics of Teen Mom that I can't do individual videos for, so I will be doing, like, you know, just a general what you missed this week video for it, for sure. Cringy indeed, Sarah. Absolutely cringy. You guys, so that's a bit of a recap for what happened on this week's 90-Day Fiancé before the 90 days. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to add, or if you want to see me do more of these, like weekly or anything like that. Let me know for sure, and I'll definitely do my best to get it done. I don't watch Outdaughtered, unfortunately, but I do see them around in the blogs. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I typically watch Real Housewives. I just wrapped Housewives of New York, and I'm watching OC, the Teen Mom, the 90-Day Fiancé 2 thingies, and that's about it. I'm excited for Atlanta to come back. I watch Insecure as well, as some of you guys know. That's about it for television. Karina is so sad. Gotta find those sugar babies, someone else said. I wonder why people are so willing to air like this kind of embarrassing information about themselves on television, eh? Like, the whole thing is so crazy. I can't believe you don't do Shots of Santa. I used to love that show, you guys. I used to love that show. Loved it. How does Karina have internet? You know what? That is a very good question, you guys. I do think, though, like, Karina seems like a really sweet girl and everything, but, like, she needs to learn English a little bit, and Paul needs to learn Portuguese as well. Like, they both need to meet each other in the middle. That's one thing that I love about Chantal and Pedro, is that they both take the time to try and understand each other's languages. I love Lauren and Alexi. They seem like they're the most in love and have what it takes to make a relationship survive. I agree. And you guys, Alexi has glowed up. Like, at the reunion, he looked so good, y'all. Like, especially, like, compared to how he first looked when she brought him over. Like, he looked good, y'all. And I do agree that the relationship is genuine and it has its foundations. But at the same time, I think that Lauren is going to exhaust him eventually. And Master J, yeah, I agree. Paul talks to Corinne like she is a dog or a 1-year-old. I was saying that earlier. It's crazy. Darcy talked about having a baby in the future. She's already 42, might be tough. And that's exactly why Jesse's parents dragged her. Someone asked if Anfisa and George are still together, and the answer is yes. In fact, they both signed to like this talent management company, and Anfisa is really doing her best to gather her followers. She just launched a Facebook fan page and everything like that, and she's really trying to get people to follow it so she can book more gigs and stuff like that. What do I think of Pedro and Chantal? I think that Pedro's sister has like this weird, not like thing for him, but like lack of boundaries when it comes to him, like going as far as wearing white on his wedding day, the way that she argued with Chantal like she was some girl off the street and not her future sister-in-law. Like, you know, she doesn't have boundaries, and that's gonna be some of the downfall of the relationship. And Chantal's family doesn't have boundaries either. Look at her brother River, who's the same thing, where he talks like he's obsessed with his own sister. Like, ugh. But Chantal and Pedro together are great, I would say. I think that she just needs him to do more for her. You know, especially especially because that was a big complaint when she was talking to the mom and sister. Remember during that meltdown when she thought that the sister called her a puta? Her concern was that he did so much more for the family than for her. So I think that's what she needs, is for him to do more for her. It doesn't necessarily mean that he has to stop doing stuff for his family. It just means that he needs to start doing more for her as well, you know? And that's his culture, baby, like you guys are saying. You guys, that's about it for this recap of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days and a little bit of the reunion as well. I'm, you know, loving talking to you guys regularly. Like, it's so great to be able to chat with you guys, like know what you think about the episodes in real time and share our thoughts and opinions. Someone's like, Pedro sends half of his money home. Yeah, like he seems to be sending way too much money home for where they're living right now. It's like, you need to save a little bit more. What do you think about Danielle getting a mommy makeover? Long overdue. I couldn't take Darcy. She was cringeworthy. That's true. And yeah, like Danielle getting a makeover is going to be great. I know that in her head, for some reason, even though she's got this new man, allegedly, she's probably going to think that it's going to get Muhammad back, even though he's so done with her. I think it's great for her and herself. But you guys, these things are from the inside out. You know what I mean? Like, if you just don't feel it from the inside, if you don't have that security, no matter what you do on the outside, it's never going to be enough. And that's a lesson that some people have to learn the difficult way. Actually, I have a question for you guys. My question, speaking of Danielle and Muhammad, is actually, what did you think about the way he described their relationship during the reunion episode? Remember, Muhammad, who was talking, and I thought he was saying something really reasonable and really, isn't it funny? My wall is like green right now based off the sunset. Muhammad was saying that he did not set out to have a relationship with Danielle. They got into a relationship because they were talking all the time, and she became like a light in his world because like for a long time in his life, he would just go to work and come home and have no one to talk to. And they just met on a chat room, and Danielle would talk, take interest in him, even ask if he was eating and stuff like that, you know, really got his heart. And then that's how they grew from friends to a relationship. And for some reason, what's her name? Lauren didn't really accept that. She was like, oh, so your relationship didn't start off with feelings? She just kept like digging into him, and it was kind of like, really, like, I don't think there was anything wrong with what Muhammad was saying. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe he did use her for a green card and stuff like that, but in what he was saying in that very moment, in terms of relationship advice, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that your relationship started off as friends and it grew from there. I do think that's an important aspect of a relationship. And a lot of you guys are like, no, he's just full of shit. And honestly, I do agree, but I don't think that it was right for Lauren to jump down his throat about not being immediately in love with her. Someone's asking what he did for a living in Tunisia. Joanna's like, isn't that how most relationships start? I don't believe he ever loved her though. He wanted to come. Danielle needs to move on. And Danielle has a 5-year-old mind. I do think that there's something deeply wrong with her. Like, the way he's able to manipulate her so easily is sad. I actually think it's easy to go from friends to more. The line between love and friendship is thin. Elizabeth, yeah, but at the same time, don't you find though, I mean, for me, I like to compartmentalize people, so I always know when I meet you whether you're gonna be my friend or like, you know, a romantic interest or whatever. And so if I just see you as a friend and we become really close friends, and I just, no, nothing else. So I guess it depends on the people. I do think it's important to have a friendship, but at the same time, you know, sometimes you're just such close friends that the idea of dating someone is like, oh, I can't do that. Yeah, a lot of you guys like, I don't believe he ever loved her. Oh, he's driving the Uber. The way he talks about driving Uber has to be one of the funniest things ever. He was like, I'm doing things I never thought I'd have to do for money. And then the camera pans to him driving an Uber. Like, I thought he was gonna be like the camera panning to him in a hotel room, like, you know, in a what is that? Backpage.com page. Danielle and Mo catfished each other, and George catfished Anfisa. Yeah, a lot of people. I did a video called 10 Reasons Why George is Worse Than Anfisa. And let me tell you guys, I got dragged, even though I still maintain my stance on that, which is that Anfisa has been so honest from the beginning, like painfully so, and George has been a liar this entire time. Yeah, Kimberly's like, she's been friends with a guy for 7 years and they're having a tough time transitioning. Sometimes it's like you stay in a phase for too long to the point where it's too difficult because someone knows all of your like laundry and stuff. Like they've seen, like, you know, especially if you've been friends for that long, you've probably seen each other going in and out of relationships, and it's just tough to transition to dating. Like, yeah, be friends, but don't be friends for too long, y'all. But I do, you know, maintain my stance in saying that I think that George is worse than Anfisa. Like, he's been lying to her consistently, pulling her strings and stuff. And then, like, he had the nerve when they asked him, like, why he's putting up with all this and, like, why he doesn't acknowledge his faults. He's like, I rescued her from Russia. She'd still be in Russia if it wasn't, like, for me. And it was like, I hate how, like, Canadians, you know, like myself, I'm Canadian, but not like myself in this line of thinking. And Americans think that, like, if you're not living in, like, Canada or America, you're living in hell. Like, F off. That Russian woman is in your face, but she has been honest, brutally honest. Yup. He's seen the good and the bad, and he knows me. It's true. But he goes back to her, so why are people mad at her? At least she's honest. He puts up a front. But you know what? That's kind of the way the cycle of abuse goes. I think they have some kind of what you call, like, a trauma bond going on where, like, he doesn't necessarily want to be with her, but, like, his self-esteem is just so low. Like, he doesn't think, you know, he can get anyone else. Plus, he is shallow as all hell that he's, you know, sticking with it and, like, just allowing himself to really go through hell for this woman. And it's just sad, but, you know, that is a cycle of abuse. That's why I have a hard time being like, he keeps going back, you know what I mean? Because I think, you know, even in Teen Mom, for example, the way that Amber kept going back to Matt, it's like, I don't think that's a willing thing. It's just sometimes those bonds are so, like, tight that you can't just up and bounce, you know? Do you guys have any, like, unpopular opinion, by the way? Like, I'm curious. Like, give me an unpopular opinion. Like, oh, George is actually the hottest guy. Something like that. And you know what? Someone just said Canada sounds really nice at this time of year. It's okay. Like, right now, we got, like, our surprise fall. Like, sorry, guys. I gotta adjust myself. Like, we have, like, a surprise fall right now. So it's pretty chilly. We're wearing, like, duster coats and stuff like that where I'm at. Do you guys have any unpopular opinions? Because I am so freaking curious. I want, like, a really unpopular opinion, like something that you don't think anyone in this world would agree with. My dad got together with a 23-year-old when he was 25. How did that work out? Shout out, Ravi. I was shocked to hear that Anfisa was a virgin before George. I agree with that. I was not expecting that at all. I would love George so much. He'd end up weighing 600 pounds. Bianca, is that because you're a good cook? I think George is handsome. He picked up weight, though. I miss the beard. I don't watch the show. I watch Team. Thanks, Jackie. Do you like They Might Be Giants? I haven't seen that. I'm praying for Texas as well. It's so sad. Told y'all Danielle is backwoods. She was on porn. Yeah, and Fisa did do the Pornhub thing. Yikes. I find, like, it's so sad how weird people are, you guys. Like, some people are just so bizarre. Wait, if They Might Be Giants is a music group. No, I haven't heard that. But if they're on Snapchat, I'll give them a listen. And yeah, to answer someone, and Fisa had a few clips allegedly on Pornhub, but I don't think she's a porn star. I just got home, class, got the alert that you were live. I'm mad I missed that. Almost have this stream. Well, I'm happy you're here, Gretchen. Bryn says Anfisa's English is too good. Yeah. I think a lot of Russians speak English, though. What happened to Danielle's husband? I'm just as curious as you are. I didn't even know Danielle was originally married. I thought she was just popping out kids. Paula is not that pretty, and she won't make it as a model. I do think she's pretty, but I don't think she'll make it as a model. My unpopular opinion is that I don't mind babies before marriage. To each their own. Do you think... Oh, you guys are going so fast. Danielle has got a ton of kids. Like, she must have not been that disgusting. I would love to see throwback Thursday photos from Danielle. You know? I would love to see that. I think that something happened to her to where she like got so depressed that she stopped kind of taking care of herself. I think Angie's older than she says. Yeah, I could probably see that being true. I could probably see that being true. Paula's pretty, but she isn't she a bit too old to be a model? Plus her person is a scammer. Something's okay. Why George? I think Anfisa can get anyone. Anyone though? Anyone? I mean, Anfisa's got a banging body. But to me, I would say she's a little bit of a, like, her personality is just not nice. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, she's got a banging body, but like there are much more beautiful women in the world and women who are also nicer than her. So I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I think she's stuck. He's the only one who can do it. Love the channel. Thank you so much. She's not cute. Pillow face. You guys are awful. I want to see my big fabulous life. Another train wreck from me. She's probably a fox. No way, she's a butterface. Nice try, Anfisa. No single person believes she was a virgin. She's really young though, you guys. Could be true. And I do think she needs to relax a little bit when it comes to the lip stuff. Like, you know, less is more with people. Even Farrah, like when she has no makeup, I think she's so pretty. Ravi, can you please just tweet me? Because I can't do anything while I'm live streaming. And then I'll be able to like favorite your tweet and then go back and check it out. Hey, Jasmine and Carlos, I agree about the filler. She's way too young to be doing all that. I saw a photo of her and like, it's way too much. My red makeup bag. I love that scene. It was so freaking funny. So funny. Thanks, Alex. I absolutely love like chatting with you guys about reality TV. I have like no one in my life who watches reality TV, so I love doing this. Gemma, we were talking about Chantel and Pedro a little bit earlier. I said I think they have a great relationship. He just needs to do more for her, and the two of them need to keep their families in check because their families have no boundaries, and it could ruin their relationships. And Elizabeth, you know, you said these people remind you of Trisha Paytas, which is this like really train wrecky YouTuber. And I had to say that I've always thought that Courtney from 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days or whatever reminded me of her. Like, yes, totally. I agree. Pedro should stop putting his finger in Chantel's face. Men should not be doing that kind of stuff. And there is a lot of loss in translation that's going to affect them. But at the same time, like, hats off to the two of them for learning each other's languages. It is not easy at all to learn a new language, especially as an adult. And so for them to love each other that much that they're willing to do it, especially as you see like other couples aren't even really bothering to learn each other's languages, it's amazing. Master J, first of all, thank you so much for all your support all this time. I love talking to you every week. And second of all, I think Anfisa affords the fillers via, what's his name again? George. And I can only imagine the amount of debt George is in trying to keep up with this girl. It's just so crazy. What do you guys actually think about George's sister? The one, what's her name? Lourdes? The one who confronts Anfisa all the time. I'm really interested to get your opinions on her because I do agree that what she says about Anfisa is right and stuff like that, but what do you guys think about her delivery? You know, your feelings for Anfisa aside, you gotta remember, this is her brother's wife. Yeah, she did say that she had savings, but I don't buy that. I think she's just using George's money and trying to play it like, oh, me and George got into a fight and I could walk away any second and use my own, you know, stuff. I really don't like Lauren. She's annoying and a brat. I just don't think her and Alexi will last. I felt bad when I seen their mom, such a humble Mexican woman. Poor George. I like Lourdes, but she overstepped some. If I was in Anfisa's shoes, I would be angry and upset too. Do you think George will go out of the country again for a wife? That's the thing about George. George is not a bad looking guy. In fact, he's kind of a cute guy and he's got a heart of gold and he's successful. he doesn't need to be doing all of this like desperation stuff. And it's just so sad the lengths that he's going for a girl who's not even like honestly all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean? So do I think he'll go out of the country again to get another wife? Yeah, probably, but he doesn't need to. Like, he can easily get a nice American woman. It's just he's so superficial, and he seems to be like a person who thrives off of chaos. And like Kimberly said, I was about to say the same thing, my twin. I was about to say, he thrives off of playing the victim as well. And so he loves that Anfisa gives him the opportunity. George needs tough love. Lourdes needs to be direct. Yep. Just needs to lose some weight. Some guys can pull off being bigger, but he's not one. I think he can. If you've met any Mexican women, we're all like Lourdes. Oh God, you know, I love how his family seems to love and care for him and try their best to like steer him right. Like, I absolutely love that. It's just he's addicted to being a victim, and you know, he's really, really superficial as well, and this is the life that he's decided to you know, live himself, and I don't see it stopping anytime, you know, really soon. It's just sad though that Anfisa can't seem to slow down. It's like the more he does for her, the more she demands more, and like the further she realizes she could take things with him, the further she goes. It's like there's no end point. And sometimes relationships like that worry me, because it's like, what happens at the end? You know what I mean? At what point does a person feel bad enough for themselves or love themselves enough that they walk away from it? And at what point does the abusive person realize that they've kind of abused someone, you know, enough? You know, it's just sad. Like Lourdes says, you know what you were chasing, George. Didn't she say she wanted an allowance of $10,000 a month? Yep. I think that he doesn't think that he can do better than Anfisa, and he has low self-esteem. I completely agree with that. Like, that seems to be his problem. But it's not even, like, you can do better than Anfisa. Anyone who treats you well is better than Anfisa. You know, like, looks aside, body aside, you know, all that aside. Even like a woman with a job is better than Anfisa, because Anfisa, as far as I know, isn't working, you know? And it's like, come on, like, you absolutely can do better than her. She doesn't treat you well at all. So if someone doesn't treat you well, getting someone who does is a step up. I feel guilty for asking my boyfriend for McDonald's. I don't know how she asks for all that. And she doesn't realize how dangerous it is to put yourself in this position where you 100% rely on someone to take care of you. That's like the stupidest thing you can do. Absolutely stupid. Like, she just doesn't realize it. And if not with George, then she's gonna learn it at some point. I felt sad when they met at the parking lot. No one in my life. Poor George is just super insecure. It makes me sad. He acts like a little boy who's always in trouble. Yes, Anfisa is George's dream woman. He doesn't want to do better. I would. You're so funny. Yeah. Oh, George is the youngest and only son, so it's easy for him to play the victim. Once he gains confidence, he'll bounce back. I don't believe that George makes over $100,000 a month at this point. I do think that he makes a lot of money, but definitely not over $100,000 a month, because he's been buying a lot of her stuff secondhand as it is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think he has some months maybe where he makes that much money, but like as a regular thing, I don't really see it happening. Yeah, Shannon, but yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, being a stay-at-home mom and then like just being a stay-at-home girlfriend or wife are like, you know, two things. But yeah, totally apologize. That was so bad. I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, at the same time, it worries me when people keep 100% of their eggs in one basket. But being a mom is definitely a really, really important job for sure. How can you even spend that much money? Greetings from Poland. No, he spent a couple hundred on that cuff. Yeah, that's him and his sorry gifts. George lives the wannabe rich life. I agree. I do everything. I love that, Shannon. Women should always have a backup plan. Yeah. And you know what? Even if you are stay at home, get yourself a little secret bank account. I do stress that all the time with people. Anfisa is George's dream woman. Yeah, but it's like, you can do so much better, George. You can do so much better. Like, what has Anfisa ever done for George to show that, like, you know, she adores him or she appreciates him or anything like that? I do, though, at the same time, kind of think that she is attached to him in this, like, really weird, her own way. George is broke AF and major debt. Maybe he should start selling oxys instead of bud. How old? 90 days. Nikki was 19. How old was he? And Fisa will snag herself a rich old bloke, I'm assuming you're trying to say. I do think she's going to have to go for the senior citizen crowd eventually. Thanks for the hello, Sancy, and for watching. I'm going to have to... Oh, this is so awesome. She deleted his phone, hit him, yelled at him, teared down any shred of confidence he has left. That's all she's done. Exactly. So I don't know why he doesn't think he can do better. Honestly, think she cares about him in a weird way. I agree. And Fisa needs to find a sugar daddy. That'll suit her better. And I agree with that as well. You know, she does seem to like him in a really weird way. And you have to remember cultural differences. She says, you know, these are her words, not mine. But she says Russians are really cold. And they just don't do things the same way that we do. And so I think that kind of plays a role in some of their interactions. Though I don't think that gives her a pass. I do at the same time think that she's a really, really abusive, shitty person that he shouldn't even want to date. Why did she deny getting a boob job though? Do we know? I don't know why Anfisa would deny getting a boob job. She admits to getting a lot of plastic surgery, so that seems like something she shouldn't really be ashamed of getting. I mean, it's probably the gateway drug of plastic surgeries. And yeah, Bianca, I think that's what she loves the most. I think that Anfisa loves the most that George literally worships the ground that she works on. That she walks on. But at the same time, you guys, does that not get old? Haven't you ever been in a relationship with someone who thought you were like, you know, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and you're like, all right, this is cute at first, but damn, I'm bored. I bet George will get another hot Russian girl. Yeah, I think he might. Jasmine, we're talking about 90 Day Fiancé, girl. I'm looking at my computer because sometimes your comments to me like go by really quickly. Poor George is just super insecure. George's dream woman. Honestly, I think George might get a Brazilian woman next. Who messaged you on the previous live, y'all? Maybe it was Nathan. Should have sent Maria. Do y'all believe the V card thing? I do. George needs an Amazonian. You need to be team. You don't need anyone to cater to you. Exactly. I think eventually she'll get bored of the worshiping. She didn't lose her virginity to George. That's just a story. I lost mine 3 times. You guys are so funny. You want your man to listen to 90% of what you ask and the other 10% to have some fight left in them. Yeah, that's true. Talk about the tea you can't talk about. What tea? Russians are direct and it comes across cold. George treats her better than the average Russian man. Yeah. Yeah. I will say that, like, I don't have much experience with, like, you know, fresh off, you know, the country Russians, but I will say that there is definitely, like, a little bit of a difference with them. Do you think Chantal will get along with Pedro's family and pay the bill, or just to pay the bills? I think that Chantal, now that she's officially married to Pedro, will really put her foot down and, yeah, I don't think she's gonna like lie down and let the mom and sister talk to her any kind of way. I do think that she's gonna like put her foot down and continue to really like push Pedro to change the amount of support that he gives to his family. And I find that that's a common thing with like people who don't understand like that lifestyle, because to me, I understand what he's doing and like how it's expected of him culturally, because I am a first generationer as well, and like, you know, my parents live here and stuff, so I don't have to do that, but I understand it. Paola does not want to be married to Russ. She's only in it for the green card. People have asked me if I'm mail order. Bryn, why do people ask you that? I think Chantel's family has a way of getting into her head. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Can we talk about her mom's hats, by the way? Can we talk about them? Thank you, Lupita, for watching. Reminds me of Devar and Melanie. Did you know, Jillian, that they're expecting a baby, Devar and Melanie? They're so cute. No way Chantel will get along. They'll need to be trained like a puppy. If not, she's going to get cussed out every weekend. Paula's getting tired of Russ. Gotta walk up my pop. Okay, bye, Courtney. Thanks for watching. You guys don't think that Pao genuinely loves Russ? You know what I have to ask you, by the way? The chicken feet thing, Alex, was so crazy. I have to ask you guys this. What did you guys think about that scene where Russ came to Miami for the first time? And so Pao's like, Russ is coming to Miami. I have to do all these things, make myself look cute, not cute, but like sexy for him and stuff. And so she does it all, gets her little lingerie in the bed and with a rose in her mouth. And he comes, and the first thing he says is, "Oh, you look so cute." I was like, really? Did any of you guys side-eye him for that? And a lot of you guys right now are talking about the whole chicken feet fiasco. I wonder if that even means disrespect. I am not really that familiar with Dominican culture, even though one of my best friends ever is Dominican. I don't know if chicken feet is a sign of disrespect or anything like that. Paula's extensions are horrible. You know, like she looks better with dark hair too, by the way. Like she looks so good with dark hair. I don't even know why she's blonde based off of the recommendation of that scammy agent. Oh, Amina is saying it was factually a sign of disrespect. Damn. You know what else was disrespectful? The fact that Chantal's family would not get out of the car when they pulled up for, the next day to visit the rest of his family. I thought that was really rude of them to be like, oh, there's dogs out there, I'm not going to do it. Dominicans are super racist as a culture. I've heard a few things, but I hope that's not true. I think it was because they made it and they didn't even eat it. Yeah, it was rude. What about Pedro's sister wearing that white dress to the wedding? I was saying that makes her, she's so weird. She seems a little fixated with him. So a lot of you guys are saying that each family is looking at the other as lower. It's so funny, and it's so true. Did I see Paula's new Mustang? No, I didn't. I'm going to creep on that on Instagram after this. And I think they just wanted to see their faces. Did you guys know that Pedro's sister is actually like a beauty queen? She's Miss Dominican World or something like that. She's very photogenic, and she seems to be really into that lifestyle. Pedro's sister, the whole thing with Chantal calling her a slut and whore. I wonder if that was real, what that was like. If you're a natural dark brunette, yeah, blonde doesn't look good for her undertones. Pedro grabbed his sister's butt. Yeah, Pedro grabbed his sister's butt at the airport. I was like, are you sure? And yeah, Pedro and Chantal say baby way, way, way too much, but Jesus. What can you say? That's that puppy love, y'all. You guys, it's been so great chatting with you. I hate to run, but it's about to like thunderstorm here, so it's getting super dark, and I'm about to have someone over in a little bit, so I gotta run, clean up my place a little bit. You can see like some of my stuff in the background, and get ready for that. And I agree with Kimberly. His mom is a lawyer. She is not hard up for money whatsoever. And you know what? That's the thing with these cultures and stuff, and I'm saying that as a first generationer again, is that a lot of times people don't want you to send money back home because they don't have it. It's just a traditional thing to do, to send money back home and stuff like that. And that's why it's kind of like expected. And that's why oftentimes it seems like the family doesn't appreciate it or respect it. It's just kind of like, you know, expected. And so yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you so much. It's been so great. I'm gonna do lots more, don't worry about it. I just gotta get ready to host someone a little bit later tonight, and I will talk with you guys really soon. We have a lot to catch up on. I'm thinking of doing another one Sunday with Teen Mom. We're going to talk about all the news that I can't fit into videos. And yeah, of course, we're going to chat as usual, you guys. I'm so awkward when I'm not scripted. I'm like, what